This video is about counting shirts. Now, it's a pretty mundane thing, so you might ask yourself, why do we need a training video for this? But here's the reason. Because if we nail down all of our processes very precisely, then we're going to help the workflow proceed at Blitz Apparel in a really efficient way that blesses everybody else. So, we're going to do things in really specific ways. First, when we receive a shipment, it always comes and sits right here in this area. It's going to be unopened, and my first clue about what it is going to be the label, which is going to have information about the PO, which is the name of this order. So I'm going to look at this quickly, and if I have multiple boxes with multiple different POs, I can separate them initially according to which job that I know that they're associated with. That'll help me when I count things in. The next thing is cutting open the box. I carry a small pocket knife on my person, but you can use a pair of scissors or a razor knife out of the tool area over here. Now, here's the key. When you're cutting open a box, keep in mind that you're cutting into shirts. And the boxes many times are full all the way to the top. So if I stick my knife in here and slice right across the top, chances are I'm going to damage some of my merchandise. So what I'll do is I'll cut the ends like this, and then I'll just make a small cut across the middle, and then usually I'm able to easily open the box without running my knife across it. If I have to run my knife, I'll make sure to run it very shallow so that I don't get in my t-shirts. So the second thing to know about counting in shirts is the way that they're going to arrive. Shirts always come in bundles of 12 if there are at least 12 shirts plus extras. So let's say that I made an order where I'm going to get 25 medium shirts. What I'm expecting to receive in a box is going to be 2 stacks of 12 mediums and then 1 extra, because they always come in dozens plus extras. So I'll go ahead and take a look at my work order, which in this case is going to be Quality, and I'm going to start counting in these shirts. My work order is going to be on this brown clipboard. So I see here that I have Safety Green Gildan 5000, which is a heavy cotton shirt. I'm going to have 24 mediums and 10 extra larges, and then I'm also going to have 10 extra large long sleeve polyester blue shirts. So I know what I'm looking for. With the medium, probably going to have 2 stacks of 12. With the large XL, I'm going to have 1 stack of 10, and I'm going to have 1 stack of 10 extra large in the long sleeve. So let's see if that's what I have. I'll reach in here and start pulling them out. So as I count in my sizes in this order, I need to mark, because I'm not smart enough to remember every single shirt that I count in, especially if 1,000 shirts came in 20 different boxes and it was 6 different jobs. So I'm going to mark each and every stack as it comes in. So I just got 12 mediums, and I got another stack of mediums and counted in 12, so I have all my mediums. So I'm instantly going to take a pink highlighter, and I'm going to put a mark right there over the 24 of mediums. I'm not going to mark through the whole thing, because when I come back, I'm going to have to mark again in a different color. So I'll mark everything in, and when the job is totally marked in, then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on the red clipboard, which goes over there next to the brown clipboard. The red stands for ready to print. So you put it on the red clipboard when everything's been checked in. So pulling out my first stack, I can quickly rifle through it. Now this is my next little piece of advice. You should always hook the hem. Don't go by tags, and don't try to count from the bottom of the shirt or something like that. But instead, use your finger like a hook to hook the hem. So come on in close, and you'll see that I lay one hand down as the receiving hand, flat on the shirt. The other hand I use to hook my hem, and I catch it one at a time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, what this does, this method does, is it makes sure that you count all of the shirts that are there. A very, very common thing to happen in this shop would be to receive a stack of shirts where one of the shirts was folded over like this. If I counted simply by going through my tags like this, then I would come out with 11 shirts, and I would be very confused. But if I hook it and I bring it out far, like this, and catch it, then whenever the folded over shirt comes, I'm going to see it underneath. And so I'll be able to grab it easily. So I count my 12, I go to my next stack, and I would count through these as well. Of course, you can see that we've already counted these and printed them. It's just an example. And then I go and I see that I have my polyester at the bottom of the box. Whenever I count things out in a single job, I'm going to take and put my largest size on the bottom. So I would put my XLs down first, and then I would proceed to stack all of the other shirts on with the bottom hem matching up. I'll take and I'll put them right here on the cart, and I'll put them down flat where the bottom of the hem is just hanging off the edge of the cart. Then my next size that goes on top of those, I will match the bottom hem right there on top of the previous stack so that it's vertical. Now this is one way that you bless the person who comes after you, because whoever comes after you, it might be you who prints this or somebody else, they're going to want a really nice, neat stack. If these shirts are all over the place in the stack, it makes it really hard to find which one's on top, and it really slows down the process of printing. But if they're nice and flat and laid in a stack just like this, then it's very easy to grab the shirt on top and load it on the press. After we've printed everything, they're going to end up right back in a stack just like this. Then we're just going to do the exact same process, but in reverse. I'm going to count by 12s in each size and color, and once I get 12, 1, 2, and I'll always still use the hook method to count things, so I make sure that I don't miss anything. I'm simply going to fold in the sleeves, lay down, and fold the garments in half. And then I can put them straight into the box. Now that's assuming that the job is finished. Sometimes you have to do the front and the back of the garment. Once I have my stack ready to go, I need to mark this, because whoever's going to be printing this job might not know where it's from and what it's supposed to have on it. So I'm going to come over here to this stack of labels right here and take a permanent marker, and I'm going to label this job, whatever the title of the job is on the work order. So in this case, bottle mom. Now I will always write my label in free space. I do not put the label on and then write, because if I did that, it might write through directly onto the garment. So I write the label, and then I'll peel and stick right there on top. Now, anybody who sees this stack knows what it is. Now, let's say, in this case, I'm missing 10 extra larges. I need to note that on this box. I'm going to write missing XL 10 on this tag. And that lets somebody know these are not ready to print yet because you don't have all of the shirts yet. And I'll put that there. Now, since this job is missing some shirts, I'll leave this on the brown clipboard until the remaining shirts come in, and then I'll check them in. Now, the last thing that I'm going to do in counting shirts, once they've all been printed, front and back, or multiple prints, or a single print, doesn't matter, is I'm going to count them back into the box. Now, our customers ought to know that we're counting in the garments 3 times. That makes it so that if they note a small error with how we did it, we have 3 different marks that we can go back to and say, no, we did print the correct amount of garments for you. And that usually makes our customers take it a little bit more seriously when they're taking an inventory. And so our first time that we count it is whenever we place the order online. The second time is whenever we check items in with a pink highlight. The third time is whenever we check items back into the box that have already been printed, and we do that with a green highlighter. Green means go. So after I've printed the item and I've folded it up and put it in the box, I'll come back with my green highlighter and mark through that item. It's important that I do this item by item. Well, I should say stack by stack. I don't count in the entire job of, say, 100 mediums, 75 smalls, 50 extra larges, and all this sort of thing. I don't count it all into the box and then come afterwards and mark through each with my highlighter. Instead, I go size by size, and every time that I count in a size correctly, I put a green mark through that size.